All right, it's recording. So I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. We're excited to have you here. Glad to see everybody. And we appreciate you spending your time with us this evening to talk about gut health. And Ruth is going to share with us some information about ways that different types of music can literally heal your brain, which is mind-boggling to me. So I am going to turn the time over to Heidi. She's going to teach us about the triplex. And then Ruth, we will turn the time over to you.
Okay, everyone just anyone who's watching this, ignore my puffy eye over here because I have a random allergy. My husband went through his stuff and it's really dusty or something. Anyway, random allergy. I'm not crying on one side of my face. But just hear what I say, don't look at me. I love talking about the triplex, and one reason we talk about the triplex every week is because it is so foundational. And so for me, we can never talk about it enough because it is the foundation of our gut health. It targets that, and it's such a simplified system that is so geniusly put together. So people like me who don't really know a lot about ingredients and stuff can be like, okay, sure, sounds good. And people that are really into ingredients and know all that are like, oh my gosh, wow, solves all these different things I was taking into this really simplified system. So it really is a win-win for everybody. And it really started for me 3.5 years ago with the triplex. And so it was actually this pink drink right here that I started on. This is our microbiome activating. I love the name because it really is telling you what it's doing. It's going to activate your microbiome. It has prebiotics in it that are going to help your microbiome in your gut prepare for all the good stuff. And so it's balancing your blood sugars. It's got chromium in there. I don't know about you guys, but I do not eat I can't remember the exact amount, but it's like 8 cups of broccoli, the amount of chromium in here. I'm not eating 8 cups of broccoli probably in 6 months time. So that's good. Get in my pink drink. So this one has the prebiotic in it. This other one has polydextrose in it, which is a fiber that helps you feel full. This is my preferred, is this one, but I keep them both on hand because I really do like them both. And sometimes I feel more like this one. Probably about once or maybe twice a week, I have this one. And then this is the one that I also give to my kids sometimes when they need it. My younger kids have the kids one, so they have their own drink now, which is cool. But 2 different flavors, both really yummy. My preferred way is, and it's very rare that I'll drink a pink drink by itself now. I've kind of gotten myself spoiled. I like my mocktail of this Slim, the HC, Hunger Control, that's what it's called, mixed with Active, the energy drink, and with my collagen mixed in it, and then ice. I know going into the winter, I'll probably still keep doing that. It's just so yummy. So that's the pink drink. Like I said, it's balancing your blood sugars. It's helping stabilize your glucose levels. And it does not have caffeine levels or anything that will keep you up. So you can really have it this time of night if you want. And so when we're talking about different things that help our brain and help us with anxious feelings or any kind of stress and or depressed feelings or anything that we've probably all experienced, probably just today. Just me? I don't know. This drink, I have heard from so many people how this drink calms them. So balancing your blood sugars is going to help you with that. So we're going to talk about a lot of other things too. Ruth is going to, but each of these products in the triplex, which is our foundational, are helping that as well. When your blood sugars are balanced, it's going to help balance your feelings, your emotions. And so there is something really calming. I know for me, my mocktail, it has become kind of like I look forward to that. I'm doing intermittent fasting, and that's my sign that I'm breaking my fast. That's just what I've decided to do. I mix that up at about 11, and I sip on that for the next half an hour. And then I start eating shortly after that. And so it's become like this habit now, and it's something I look forward to. And I do school with my kids in the morning, and then around that time, like they're getting ready for lunch, and it's just like it really is like, it's calming to me. So, hey, there's something to this, guys. The next product is our BioCleanse, and I love the BioCleanse. I say this every time. It's one of my besties. But the BioCleanse is a magnesium supplement, vitamin C, and it's a gentle cleanser. So it's really helping everything that's going in. It's helping it naturally come out, which, believe it or not, a lot of people have issues with that. I was one of those for 38 years until I started on Plexus. So it's personal to me, okay? And I will just say, this is not any kind of like, I'm this super, like I said, I'm not a scientist or know the ingredients super well. I just know from personal experience that when you are not going poop regularly, that's going to mess with your emotions. So it doesn't take a scientist to figure out if you're filled with toxin that aren't naturally being released every day, 1 to 3 times a day. The toxins are going to build up in your body. It's going to naturally affect your emotions. Like, you're literally full of crap. Who wants to be that way? Nobody. I didn't like it. I just thought it was normal because it was my normal. And so the magnesium plays a huge part in that. And going into this time of year as well, vitamin C is in here as well. So really great. This is a great product. I love BioCleanse. You can take 2 to 4 a day. Some people take even 6. And that's the great thing about it. It's kind of like adjusting to your own body and what you need. I take 4. I'll never not take this. And my husband takes 2. And so it's really kind of figuring out your body and what works for your body. But the last one is our ProBio 5. And this is a probiotic that a lot of people have had this conversation with a lot of people. They're like, oh yeah, I'm already on a probiotic. So, okay, next. And I'm like, oh, okay, but let me tell you about this one. It's different. And people are like, yeah. Everyone says that. I'm like, no, really, it's different. There is an enzyme in this probiotic, and it's a special enzyme because it actually is going in and it's killing your candida that has a hard shell that regular probiotics aren't killing the candida. They are just pushing in all those good gut flora. But this has that, plus it's killing the candida. And so we don't want the candida running around in our bodies. And so this is actually going in and killing that. And so it really is special. And you take it at night. So I leave the bottle really right next to my toothbrush. Nothing fancy. I just leave the bottle there. And that's how I remember to take it every night. And I literally take the cap off of an old bottle and put out all my pills for the night, like a little old lady. And it works for me. You start with this, you start with about 1 to 2 and kind of keep that for about a week. And then you keep upping it until you get to about 4. So everyone who has given this a try, who's on the call tonight or is listening to the recording, your goal is always to get to 4 of these. And yes, that means you'll need more than 1 bottle because this has 60 in it for a month. But I'm telling you, there is a difference from going from 2 to 3. There is a difference. And then going from 3 to 4, there is a difference. You'll feel it in your body because, like I said, it's killing the candida. So you will notice a difference. I noticed my cravings. That's always one of the biggest things that I notice is that my cravings diminish. Like, I notice it. Like, it's a huge change I notice. And so actually I take 3 as a maintenance, but if I'm ever feeling maybe sick, or if I've been around someone that's sick, I'll take more. Or this time of year when there's just more sweets and stuff around, I take more. I take 4. And so that's just an idea for you. If there's certain times where you need a little bit more, this helps with that. So that's the triplex. If anyone has any questions, but that's just the basic gist of our gut health. And the reason we wanted to start out with that is because everything builds on that. And so the other tools we're going to talk about, they all build on starting at the foundation. And that's the triplex.
Patty, what is the name of that enzyme? Do you know? Does anybody know?
I can try to pronounce it. It's chitosani.
Can you spell it?
Janelle?
I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how I always say it. Chitosanase. Chito, CHITOSANASE.
Oh, it's probably on the bottle. I could probably look on the bottle.
I call it Chito for short. That sounds like a bad name though. So
I love it. Okay. Oh, you want me to turn the time over to Ruth now, or did you have anything else to say, Nicole?
No, yep, we can go ahead and turn the time over to Ruth.
Ruth.
Thank you, Heidi.
All right, so I have this book called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. And it's been my Bible for my brain for many years. And it's written by Daniel Amen. His last name is Amen. And he is a doctor that does brain scans. So I'm not exactly sure what what he calls his specialty, but he does brain scans, and based on the brain scans, he tells his patients what they need to help heal their brain. So this book he wrote, and he gives all the advice he gives his patients in the brain. So if you're interested in this book, you can skip part 1 and just go to part 2. And in part 2, he talks about the 5 different parts of our brain. And each part, like the limbic system is anxiousness, where anxiousness is centered. The basal ganglia is where something else is centered. I didn't write all of that down. So he tells you things you can do at home that help heal your brain. And so I have used many things from his book over the years, and they're all super helpful. But we wanted to focus tonight on the different types of music that he talks about in the book that help our brains. So I'll try not to talk too fast. I tend to talk really fast when I have a lot to say in a short amount of time. So one of them is listening to Mozart. So if you can just get a station, whether you have Spotify or whether you have Pandora or whatever, I have a Mozart station on my on Pandora. I'm still old-fashioned. I use Pandora because that's what I have. And I don't want to change everything, so I just keep it there. So this helps with ADD. It helps you have focus. And he talks about how, because it's complicated music, it helps make those connectors in our brain that help with math and chess and things like that are complicated type things. So that music will help make those connectors as well. Plus, and then the opposite is true. So music that has really repetitive chords and short, repetitive things like rock music do the opposite to our brains. Like they don't heal our brains. So Mozart is a really good one. Janelle last week mentioned Baroque music. That's also a good one, which I believe Bach, is that right? Bach is Baroque. Anyway, you can just type in Baroque and it will bring up what you need. So another one that helps is, and I love all of these, they're fun. So rhythmic movement is good. So whether it's chanting, anything that's really rhythmic is helpful to help our memories, to help with temper control, and to help with learning. So that could be dancing, it can be chanting. He talks about chanting a lot, and he says that chanting opens our minds to having new experiences and to learning. And chanting also brings peace and tranquility. So any kind of chanting, which goes along with meditation, right? In the Eastern meditation, they use a lot of chanting with it, and that's why. Okay, so for healing music, he said if you're depressed, to use upbeat music. So you'll know what makes your mood feel better, right? So find music if you're feeling depressed or whatever, find some upbeat music that helps you feel better. And he mentions for to facilitate relaxation and improve sleep or reduce stress and anxiety. He mentioned an artist named Barry Goldstein. So his first name is Barry. His last name Goldstein is Goldstein. So his music helps with relaxation, better sleep, reduce stress. And then he brought up Mozart again as healing in this one. And he says it warms up our brain to do the complicated things like I already talked about. Another one he talks about, which I think is kind of fun, but I haven't done much of it, is toning or humming. And he said toning is one of the best things we can do for our brains. So I'll give you the sounds that what they do. So if you say ah as a toning, so you just keep toning the same sound like ah, I don't know if you go up and down, whatever you feel good about. And he said that doing the ah will immediately bring a relaxation response. So I thought that was interesting. Such a simple thing we can do to immediately relax. Then if you do E or A, it helps with concentration, and it also helps release anger and pain. So if you're feeling a lot of pent up anger or some pain from past experiences, just toning the E or the A, like he says to try it 5 minutes a day for 2 weeks and just see if you notice a difference. Like experiment with it and see if you notice. So if you have some pent up emotion like that, you could try the E or A to help you release it. And then the O or Om, which a lot of people use meditating, helps warm the skin and relax muscle tension. All right, then singing. So if you like to sing with the radio, or if you like to sing while you play the piano, like Chanel talked about last week, this helps heal our temporal lobe systems, which is on the sides, right? It goes, our temporal lobe part of our brain goes like that. And it will help heal the temporal lobe and possibly the limbic system. The limbic system is where anxiety is. All right, and I love this one. I actually bought a couple of different drums, like just small drums, because drumming, he said, is really good. See, I try things for a little while and then something else comes along and I try that. So, but I really do think drumming helps. It helped me a lot when I do it regularly. So this is what drumming will do for you. It brings a sense of relaxation and calms your brain synchronization. It produces pleasurable experiences. It enhances self-awareness, and it may help release emotional trauma. So all that just by drumming. So any of these that sound interesting to you, just experiment with them. Try them out, like you said, 5 to 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks and just see if you notice a difference. And because they're not going to hurt you, right? You're not going to get worse by doing any of these things. So last week we talked about, or I know a couple of meetings we've talked about meditation, and Nicole 1 week talked about breathing. So all of those things help our basal ganglia area part of our brain, which is where nervousness and anxiety reside. So doing all those things we've talked about in other sessions is really good. The other thing he brought up is hand warming. So just either warming your hands or even mentally imagining you're doing something that warms your hands, like imagine you're putting your hands up by a fire, or holding a hot cup of cocoa, like just imagining that you're warming your hands in those ways helps you mentally with the basal ganglia area, which I thought was super interesting. And just a couple more I want to talk about is one is Gregorian chants. And so I just have an app on my phone of Gregorian chants, and it really does make a difference. This one I still use quite a bit. Like if I can't sleep a lot of times, I'll put on Gregorian chants, and there's just something about them that really is relaxing and helpful, calming, and peaceful. I have a friend who has 2 sons that are a little bit hard to deal with. And so I told her about this, and she put her phone, they have a small house, so she put the phone where everyone could hear it at night. And she said just the first night, the next day, her boys both woke up. They were calm all day. Like she noticed a huge difference right away. And the last one I want to talk about is neurofeedback, which is the binaural beats. So these are the like delta waves, the theta waves, the alpha waves, the sensory motor rhythm, which is SMR is the abbreviation for that, and the beta waves. So listening, and again, I have an app on my phone for that. So you just would need to experiment because and you could do some research online about which one you need, because each one's different, does something different in your brain. So if you did some research on those, then you could figure out which one you probably need more of, and you can just download it on your app. You can also find YouTube videos that have delta or have the brain waves on them too. So none of this costs any money. You can do it all with what you already have, probably. So that's what I prepared for tonight. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so what app do you use?
Let's see. Let me get it.
And I had started looking into I don't know how to say it right, the binaural beats.
Yeah, you told me that you looked into it.
Because they have, like, there's one for healing your thyroid and things.
Mm.
And so I was like, I mean, I've been listening to it for a few weeks, and I don't think I've ever slept so good in my entire life. But I'm curious to know what app you use. And then
That one,
I
haven't downloaded that one on my new phone, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Those is often for me because I've had tinnitus for a couple of years, and I feel like the binaural beats makes it worse, makes it louder.
Oh,
so I don't actually use the binaural beats very often.
Gotcha. But what's the other app? Is that the?
Okay. I don't know what it's called, but it's this one right here. It has a purple background and a yellow castle. Well, it's probably like a monastery or something, because it's Gregorian. Yeah, it's like a church, like a temple. It has a cross in it in the middle.
Okay.
So that's the one I use, but there are others. I don't know that it matters. And I just do the free one, which gives you only the choice of 3 or 4 different songs. But that's been enough for me. That's all I've needed.
Okay. And then when you were talking about the drumming, what kind of drums did you buy?
I just have like a little one. I should have brought them to this room, but it's about this tall. It looks like an African drum. I think I paid $65 for it or something on Amazon. And then the other one is a talking drum that I made a long time ago.
Okay. Love that.
And
it doesn't really matter.
Like, do you pound the heck out of it, or is it?
What did you say?
Do you pound the heck out of it, or like, is it calming?
It's calming for me. And It depends. Like sometimes the rhythm will change. Sometimes when I've done it, sometimes I just want to dance with it. But I've always been attracted to drums. Like I want to join a drumming circle. I've just never found one. I've gone to some when I've been to beaches, and I'm totally love them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I recently learned of the drumming circles too, and Jonelle's been searching for one for us.
I found one. It's in Hurricane. That's the closest one I can find that isn't like, no offense to any Wiccans, but that isn't Wiccan. I don't want to go to a Wiccan one
Right.
personally. But my friend does one in Hurricane. And so I was talking to Nicole about doing like a day trip and going up and doing the circle. So maybe
Yes, I want to go.
No. Now, Christine, hippies, don't make me read you the definition of hippie because it does not apply.
Yeah, I went to a hippie one in Florida a year ago, and yeah, it was interesting. But it was fun. I loved it.
I think it sounds fun.
Can I share something?
Yeah, I think if you had something at home that even just had a warm tone that you enjoyed, like even tapping on a table or a desk, or, as long as you enjoyed the sound, I think that would work until you found a drum.
Mm-hmm. I know you're joking, Christine. Yeah, I have a quartz crystal singing bowl. It's really big. I've always
yeah.
little one because a little more portable, but it vibrates and you can feel it throughout my whole house. And I think it is. It's just the vibration is healing. And just like we vibrate with, that's why water's healing. It has a healing vibration in it, depending on, they said the Dead Sea literally has no vibration. That's why it's dead. Mm-hmm. So that's why they call it that. It has no freshwater inlet. So, but I wanted to share this really quick. When my daughter was 11, she broke her leg in 3 different spots. Like it was not a compound fracture. The bone wasn't out, but she broke her leg in 3 different spots, her tibia and fibula. And, when we went to the ER, they put her in a soft cast because they don't like to cast it right away because it has to kind of set a little bit. They like to have it set. And he told me, the doctor's like, once she's in a hard cast, it'll feel so much better. She probably won't complain about pain. But tonight they kind of just took this one and like wrapped it, like it was kind of like a carton. They laid her leg in it and then like wrapped it really good. So we went home. It was like midnight. And she'd had the biggest dose of Tylenol she could have. And I'd rubbed her with oils and everything. And I had this app on my phone, or not an app on my phone, but a playlist for the chakras. So it's like the binaural beats for the chakras. It's the sounds for each chakra. And honestly, sometimes when I would listen to it, some of the sounds were very off-putting to me. I'm like, I hate that sound. It's kind of grating to me. Mm-hmm. And so I put that on because that was as soothing as I could find. And all night long, as soon as it would stop, like it was on a loop, and sometimes it would stop, or my phone died at one point. I had her sleeping in bed next to me because she couldn't do anything on her own. I literally had to help her to the bathroom and everything because it was up to her thigh. So she would wake up as soon as it would stop, and she's like, you've got to turn the music back on. That's the only thing that's making the pain stay away. It feels like angels are massaging my leg. So the beat, the vibration of the music was literally killing her pain. And as soon as it would stop, she would wake up with pain. And it was just fascinating to me. I'd read about it. I'd gone to like meditation circles and things, but I'd never seen it like that. And it was really, really fascinating. And interestingly enough, the sound I found so off-putting was the one that she said felt the best. Isn't that interesting? So just really, I don't know. I wanted to share too, on Spotify, I have my playlists are open and I have 10,000 of them because I love playlists. But I do have one called Mantra, and it just has like chanting music. It has Gregorian chants. It has Indian mantra music. I really love, let me see if you guys can hear this. I love these types of where it's like a repetitive phrase. I really resonate with these. So let's see if you can hear it. This one's called I Release Control.
surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
Can you guys hear that?
I
Can you hear that? So that's all she says the whole time. And you'll hear the singing bowl, you know, the chime, but that's it. It's that over and over and over. So I really resonate with those. So find what you resonate with. Like if it's something where you're like, I hate this music, you know, there are some Gregorian chants that I do not like at all, but there's some that I'm like, oh my heavens, this just opens my whole heart up. So I have that playlist on there. And then the Baroque one, there's some Baroque music I don't like. I don't like the really fast Baroque music. So the one I found was a playlist somebody already had made, and it is called Baroque for Focused Studying. And it's just really mellow. And so that's one. I don't know if you guys can see it there. If you find me on Spotify, you'll see all these playlists. So, and if you guys want to do a field trip to go do a drum circle, let us know. I know. Ruth, I don't even know why I didn't think of talking to you about that. Of course you would have drums and know.
I'm glad I was muted because I just snorted when I left.
Okay, now I see why everyone was laughing. I just read the chat. Yes. We're not chanting that song though, Tasha. Though, that's a good laugh. That's a good laugh. I love that one. But that's what she's doing. That's what Granny or Gamma is doing in the woods. She is getting in touch with the healing sounds. We could learn or Gammy. It's Gammy. We could learn a lesson or two from Gammy. Okay. Take it away, Ruth.
I don't really have anything else unless somebody has questions. I just went through the book and tried to find all the music things that he had listed in the book under different parts.
I have another question. In that book, does he talk about like migraines and stuff like that?
I've never had migraines, so I didn't focus on that. I don't know. I can look later though and text you if he does or not. I can
I was just curious.
right now, actually.
I would be curious to know that too, Ruth. So if you could let us both know, that would be awesome.
It's not in the index. Migraines is not, but I'll look a little bit more and see. I know it didn't catch my eye when I've read it in the past.
All right. Any questions, comments, anything anybody wants to share? If not, we will wrap this up.
Thank you, Ruth. Always such good information, such wonderful tidbits you share. I just love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
You're
very,
welcome.
very intrigued by this. Who knew music could be so healing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing this with us.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.